Hello, my dear friend. Welcome to the VUS Learning English podcast. I am so happy you are here today. My name is Anna. I will be your friend and your guide on this journey. If this is your first time here, welcome. A very big, warm welcome to you. I am happy you found us. If you are coming back, thank you. Thank you for listening again. It means so much to me. This podcast is a safe place. It is a warm and cozy place for you to learn English. We go slowly. We are always kind. We are here to help you feel good about learning. Today, we have a very special topic. It is a topic that is close to my heart. We will talk about how learning English can change your life, not just your English skills, your whole life. It sounds big, I know. But I promise it is possible. It is possible for you. We will talk about small steps, tiny habits. These small steps can make a big, beautiful change. Thank you so much for choosing to be here. Thank you for giving your time to this podcast and to yourself. If you like our podcast, please think about following or subscribing. It helps other learners find our little community. It helps us grow together. I have a small question for you today. Where are you listening from? What country are you in? You can write it in the comments. I love to read your comments. I love to see where our friends are in the world. It makes me feel connected to you. Okay, are you ready? Let's take a deep breath and let's begin. Today, we are talking about a beautiful idea. The idea is this: the way you learn English can help you change your life. The small things you do to learn English are the same small things that can make you feel more confident. They can help you with your job. They can help you feel happier every day. I know learning English can feel hard. It can feel like a very big mountain to climb. You learn new words, you study grammar, but maybe you still feel scared to speak. Maybe you feel like you are not good enough. This feeling is very normal. Many people feel this way. And sometimes this feeling is not just about English. Maybe you feel stuck in other parts of your life too, like a job you do not love. Or maybe you feel shy. You feel like the real you is hiding inside. This feeling of being stuck is a human feeling. We all feel it sometimes. But I have a wonderful secret to share with you today. The way to get better at English is the same way to get unstuck in your life. Learning a language is not just for school. It is a journey that helps you grow. It helps you become a new version of yourself. I know this is true. I have seen it, and I have lived it. For me, learning English was not just about words. It was about finding my own strength. It helped me go from being very shy and scared to building a life that I love. So if you feel like you can be more, but something is stopping you, then you're in the right place. This is not just an English lesson. This is a map for changing your life. Let's start with a big idea. It is an idea that stops many people. It is a lie that we tell ourselves. The lie is, learning English is just a school subject. It is separate from me. We think it is like learning to use a computer or learning to fix a car. So when we have a hard time, when we struggle, we think, I am not good at languages. I just can't do it. I used to think this all the time. I remember feeling so sad. I looked at my English books, and I felt like a failure. I felt like I was not good at anything. My job was okay, but it did not make me happy. I was afraid to meet new people. My confidence was very low. My English learning felt just like my life. Stuck, difficult, full of quiet sadness. I would listen to people who spoke English perfectly. They sounded so sure of themselves, so confident. And I would think, I can never be like that. There is something wrong with me. They have a special talent, a talent I do not have. This thought is the real problem. This thought, they have a talent I do not have. Some people call this a fixed mindset. It is the idea that we are born a certain way. You are born good at math or you are not. You are born good at languages or you are not. This idea says you cannot change. When you think this way, every mistake feels terrible. Every challenge feels like a test of who you are. So when you make a grammar mistake or when you can't find the right word, your mind doesn't say, this is a chance to learn. No, it says, see, this is proof. You are not good at this. And because mistakes feel so bad, you become very afraid of them. This fear makes you stop trying. You avoid speaking. You avoid challenges. And when you avoid challenges, you cannot grow. Your progress stops. This was me. This was exactly me. I would not speak because I was so scared. In my mind, I had big ideas. I had smart thoughts. But when I tried to speak, the words came out all wrong, simple, broken. The person inside me was smart and interesting, but the person I could show in English was not. This made me feel so much shame. I felt embarrassed. And that feeling did not stay with English. It went into all parts of my life. I started to believe that I was a simple person, that I was not interesting, because that is all I could show. Learning a language is about your identity. It is about who you are in the world. This is why it connects to your whole life. The same thought that says, I am bad at English is the thought that says, I am not a confident person, or I can never be a leader, or I could never have my own business. This way of thinking puts you in a small box, and it closes the lid. Research shows this is true. Learners who think they cannot change give up more easily, but learners who think they can change, they have a growth mindset. They keep trying. They are more motivated. So the first step is not to learn 100 new words. The first step is to see this lie. Your struggle with English is not proof that you are broken. It is not proof that you have no talent. That is a story. It is not the truth. Your journey with English is about your mindset. It is about your habits. And the most beautiful part is this. You can change your mindset. You can build new habits. And when you change them for English, you change them for your whole life. You are not just learning a new skill. You are building a new you, a stronger you, a more confident you, a happier you. So how do we do this? How do we change our mindset? How do we go from feeling stuck to making progress? It starts with a shift, a small change in how we see our learning. We need to stop chasing a big, faraway goal, and we need to start building a simple daily system. What does this mean? For many years, my only goal was become fluent in English. That was my big goal. It felt like a huge mountain. Every day I woke up and I was still at the bottom of the mountain. I was not fluent yet. This feeling was so bad, it made me want to give up. This is the problem with big goals. They tell you the destination, but they do not tell you the steps. They do not show you the path. There is a wonderful writer named James Clear. He wrote a book called Atomic Habits. He says something very powerful. He says, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. This means the big goal is not what matters most. What matters is your system. Your system is your process. Your system is your daily actions. the small things you do every single day. If you are trying to change, but it is not working, the problem is not you. The problem is your system. So instead of a big goal, like become fluent, what is a system? A system is made of very small actions. It is based on the one rule. The idea is simple. Can you get one better each day? Just a tiny bit better. If you get one better every day for 1 year, you will be 37 times better at the end of the year. It is like magic, but it is not magic. It is the power of small, consistent steps. We often think we need a big moment, a perfect conversation, a big success, but we forget the power of small improvements, the power of doing a little bit every single day. This idea changed everything for me. I stopped trying to be fluent. I started to ask myself a new question. What can I do today? What is one small step I can take right now? My system became very, very simple. Instead of, I need to master English, it became, today, I will listen to one 5-minute English podcast. That's it. Or today, I will learn 3 new words, and I will write 1 sentence for each word. Or my most powerful habit. Today, I will talk for 1 minute about my day. I will record it on my phone, and I will not delete it, no matter how many mistakes I make. These actions are so small. They are not scary. A big goal like become fluent is very scary. It brings up all our fear of failure. But how can you fail at listening to a 5-minute podcast? You can't. You just do it. And when you do it, you get a small win, a tiny victory. That small win builds a little bit of confidence. The next day, you do it again. Another small win, another drop of confidence. These small wins are like medicine for a fixed mindset. They start to change the story you tell yourself. The story changes from, I am a failure who can't learn English, to, I am the kind of person who practices English every day. This is the secret. Real change is not about the result you want. It is about the person you want to become. And this system works for everything in life. You don't just become a healthy person. You build a system. The system is, today I will walk for 10 minutes. Or, today I will add 1 vegetable to my food. You don't just start a successful business. You build a system. The system is, today I will send 1 email. Or, today I will work for 15 minutes on my business idea. The path is the same, always the same. Break down the big, scary goal. Break it down into tiny daily actions. Do them again and again until they become easy, until they become your habits. So this is the big shift. Stop looking at the finish line. The finish line is too far away. Instead, focus on the starting line. Make it very, very easy to start. So easy that you cannot say no. Your goal for today is not to be fluent. Your goal is to get 1 better. That is all. That is the system. And that system will change your English, and it will change your life. Now, let's make this very practical. Let's talk about 4 specific habits. 4 habits that changed my English journey, and they are also habits that can change your life. Think of them as the 4 pillars of your new system. Habit 1, embrace imperfect action. The first habit is maybe the most important. It helps all the other habits work. Habit number 1 is embrace imperfect action. This means you should do things, even if you can't do them perfectly. The biggest enemy of learning is not making mistakes. The biggest enemy is waiting to be perfect. We can call this perfect inaction. It's when you want to wait. You wait for the perfect plan. You wait until you know all the words. You wait for the perfect accent. You wait for the perfect moment. But I will tell you a secret. The perfect moment never comes. Waiting for perfect just means you do nothing. You stay stuck. So we have a new rule. Our new rule is done is better than perfect. Doing something in a messy, imperfect way is always, always better than doing nothing perfectly. I used to live in a prison of perfectionism. My fear of making mistakes in English was so big, it was like a phobia. I would have whole conversations in my head. I would practice them over and over. I knew the words, I knew the grammar, but the idea of opening my mouth and having the words come out wrong, it was terrifying. So most of the time, I was silent. I was waiting to feel ready, but I never felt ready. This is a very common trap. We think and plan, but we never actually do the thing. But here's the truth about our brains. Action creates momentum. Thinking about action does not. When you take one small, imperfect step, it makes the next step easier. Imagine you are pushing a very big, heavy wheel. The first push is the hardest. It takes so much energy. But once the wheel starts to move, even just a little, every push after that is easier. Action is that first push. The moment I understood this was life-changing. I decided to try an experiment. I made a promise to myself. For 30 days, I will record a 1-minute audio diary. I will speak in English on my phone. There was only one rule. I had to speak for the full minute, and I could not delete it or re-record it. My first recording was, it was so bad, it was painful to hear. I stuttered. I forgot words. I used the wrong grammar. There were long, quiet pauses. My first feeling was, delete this, now. I felt so embarrassed, but I made a promise. So I forced myself to save it. The next day, I did it again. It was still bad. I still made many mistakes, but maybe it was a tiny bit less bad, a little bit better. By day 7, something was different. I was still making mistakes, of course, but I was less afraid of them. The fear was getting smaller. By day 30, I could speak for a whole minute without that panic feeling in my chest. I learned more in those 30 minutes of messy, imperfect action than I did in months of perfect silent studying. This is the freedom you find, the freedom you get when you give yourself permission to be a beginner. It is okay to be a beginner. Everyone is a beginner at first. Think about how this idea shows up in life. How many people say, I want to start a YouTube channel, but I need a better camera. Or, I want to be healthy, but I will start on Monday. On Monday, I can do my full exercise routine perfectly. Or, I want that job, but I need to get one more certificate first. This is all perfectionism. It is fear wearing a mask. Fear is pretending to be a smart strategy, but it is just fear. The only way to get good at something is to be willing to be bad at it first. You must be willing to be a beginner. So, what can you do for your English? Speak before you feel ready. Write a comment under a YouTube video. Even if you are worried about your grammar, just write it. Send an email to a colleague in English. Don't check it 20 times. Just send it. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to communicate. The goal is to connect. The goal is to participate, to be a part of the world. Taking action, any imperfect action, will help you more than doing nothing. So here's your challenge for this habit. A small, gentle challenge. This week, find one area where you are waiting for the perfect moment. It can be in English or in your life. And take one small, messy, imperfect action. Send that one email, make that one phone call, do a 10-minute walk instead of the perfect 1-hour workout. Record your own 1-minute audio diary. Just start, because action does two things. It builds momentum and it builds confidence. Every small step tells your brain, look, I can do this. I am moving forward. Habit 2, rewire your focus. Okay, are you ready for our second habit? This habit is about what you pay attention to. It is about where you put your energy. Habit number 2 is rewire your focus. This means to change what you look for. Inside your brain, there is something like a gatekeeper. Its job is to decide what information is important. Every second, millions of pieces of information come to you. Sights, sounds, feelings. You cannot pay attention to everything. So your brain has a filter. This filter is called the reticular activating system, or RAS. That is a big name. Let's just call it your focus helper. Your focus helper is very interesting. It lets in the things you tell it are important. For example, you can be in a very loud, crowded room. There's music playing. People are talking. You hear nothing. It is all just noise. But then someone far away says your name. And suddenly you hear it perfectly. Your ears perk up. That is your focus helper at work. It knows your name is important to you. Now, here's the most important part. You can program your focus helper. You can tell it what to look for. You do this with the things you think about all the time. Your focus helper will look for evidence. It looks for proof that your beliefs are true. So let's think about this. If you believe, my English is terrible, I always make mistakes, what will your focus helper show you? Exactly. It will find every single mistake you make. You could have a 10-minute conversation. You could say 99 things correctly, but you say one word with the wrong pronunciation. Just one small mistake. Your focus helper, which you have trained to find mistakes, will put a giant spotlight on that one error. It will ignore the 99 good things. It will tell your brain, see, here's the proof. You are bad at this. This creates a circle of negative feelings, a negative feedback loop. It crushes your confidence. It makes you feel hopeless. I was the champion of this. I had a mistake counter in my head all the time. It was always on, click, click, click. After I had a conversation, I did not feel happy. I did not feel good about connecting with another person. No, I would just think about all my mistakes. I would play them in my head again and again. It was so tiring. And it made learning feel terrible. The change happened when I decided to do something different. I decided to consciously, intentionally reprogram my focus. I started something I called a progress journal. It was a very simple notebook. Every single day, I had to do one thing. I had to write down just one thing I did well in English that day. Could be very, very small. Anything. What kind of things did I write? Some days it was something like, today I understood a joke in a TV show. Other days it was, today I used a new word in an email and it felt right. Or I asked for directions and the person understood me the first time. Sometimes it was even smaller. Today I spoke for 2 minutes in my audio diary, not just 1 minute. Or even, today I felt scared to speak, but I did it anyway. These things were small. They might seem like nothing. But the act of looking for them was powerful. The act of searching for my progress forced my brain to start noticing it. I was giving my focus helper new instructions. I was telling it, go find proof of my progress. Stop looking for proof of my failure. This one simple habit was amazing. It did not make my English perfect overnight, but it changed my feelings about learning. It changed my emotional experience. Learning was no longer a source of sadness and frustration. It started to become a source of pride. It became a game, a fun game of finding my wins. Celebrating small wins is a huge part of building a growth mindset. It shows your brain that you are capable. This is the same reason things like gratitude journals work. They are not magic. They are tools to train your focus helper. When you start your day and you think, what are 3 things I am thankful for? You are giving your brain a job to do. You are telling it, go find good things. And it will. It will start to show you happy moments you would have missed. It will filter your day through a more positive lens. It is the same with English. If you tell yourself, I am becoming a more confident English speaker, this is not a lie. This is an intention. It is a direction you want to go. You are telling your brain to look for the moments when you are confident, even for 1 second. And the more you notice those confident moments, the more of them you will have. Every action you take is like a vote. You are casting a vote for the kind of person you want to be. When you focus on your progress, even tiny progress, you are casting a vote for the identity of someone who is improving. You are voting to be a learner. You are voting to be a grower. So here is your gentle action for this habit. Start your own progress journal. It can be for English, or for your health, or for your work, or for your life. Every day for the next week, write down one small win, one tiny piece of evidence that you are moving forward. Remember, what you focus on grows. What you give attention to gets bigger. So let's stop watering the weeds of our mistakes. Let's start watering the flowers of our progress. Take a moment right now. What is one small win from this week that you have been ignoring? Did you learn a new word? Did you understand a line in a song? Did you read 1 page of an English book? Acknowledge it. Say to yourself, I did that. That was good. Celebrate it. It matters more than you think. Habit 3, curate your environment. Let's move to our 3rd habit. This habit is about the world around you. It is very hard to build good habits in a bad environment. Habit number 3 is curate your environment. Curate is a big word. It just means to choose carefully, to design, to make your environment a good place for you. What is your environment? It is everything that surrounds you. It is the people you talk to. It is the videos you watch. It is the social media you scroll. It is the physical room where you live and work. A wise person said, I have never seen someone stick to positive habits in a negative environment. This is so true. You can have all the motivation in the world. You can feel so inspired after this podcast. But if your environment is always pushing you down, you are fighting a very hard battle. It is like trying to swim up a river. The key is to design your environment to help you. Make your good habits the easiest choice. Make them the most obvious choice. Let's think about this for English learning. For a long time, my English environment was an accident. It was not designed. Maybe I watched a Hollywood movie in English sometimes. But my YouTube feed was all in my native language. My phone was in my native language. My computer was in my native language. English was something I had to search for. It took effort. It took willpower. And because it took so much effort, I didn't do it very often. I was too tired. The friction was too high. Friction is the force that makes things difficult. We want to reduce the friction for our good habits. The big change happened for me when I decided to be intentional. I decided to build an immersive English environment, an English world for myself. The first thing I did was so easy. I changed the language setting on my phone to English. That was it. But think about it. How many times do you look at your phone every day? 50 times? 100 times? Suddenly, dozens of times a day, I was seeing English. It was in a very easy, low-pressure way. I would see slide to unlock, or new message from mom, or Wednesday, October 8th. It was constant, effortless exposure. It was like a mini English lesson every time I picked up my phone. This one small change made a big difference. Then I looked at my social media. I asked myself, how does my social media make me feel? Does it make me feel good? Or does it make me feel bad? I unfollowed accounts that were just noise, accounts that made me feel like I was not enough. And then I consciously looked for new accounts to follow. I found a few kind, encouraging English teachers, people who made learning feel fun and safe. My Instagram feed, my YouTube feed, it all changed. It went from being a distraction to being a mini lesson. I was reducing the friction for learning English, and I was increasing the friction for wasting time. What else did I do? I joined an online community, a group of other people who were also learning English. This was a huge change. Suddenly, I was not alone. I had friends on the same journey. I could ask them questions. I could share my small wins from my progress journal with them. They understood. We could practice speaking together in a safe space. That feeling of community is a powerful motivator. It makes you feel like you are part of a team. Finally, I curated my entertainment. I didn't just watch anything in English, I found things I was already interested in. For me, I love photography. It is my hobby. So I found a YouTuber who talked about photography in English. Because I loved the topic, I was excited to watch his videos. I wanted to understand what he was saying about cameras and light. So I was learning all this special vocabulary naturally. I was not studying, I was just enjoying my hobby. Learning English became a happy side effect, a bonus. What I did is a perfect example of this principle. I did not rely on my willpower. Willpower is weak, it comes and goes. Instead, I designed a world for myself. A world where practicing English was the easy thing to do. It was the path of least resistance. Now let's think about your whole life. The same rule is true. If you want to feel more positive, you need to spend more time with positive people. If you want to feel more ambitious and motivated, you need to be around people who are working on their own goals. The people around you shape your idea of what is possible. There is a saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Think about that. If your friends are always complaining, if they are always talking about how life is hard and nothing can change, it is very, very difficult for you to stay positive. It is very hard for you to keep your growth mindset. This does not mean you have to cut people out of your life, but it might mean you need to add new people in. You need to consciously choose to also spend time with people who lift you up, people who believe in growth, people who align with the person you want to become. Maybe you can join a book club or a walking group, or a class for a new hobby. Or maybe you can just be more intentional about who you have coffee with. Spend time with the people who make you feel good. So your action for this habit is an audit, an environment audit. Take a look at your world this week. First, your digital environment, your phone, your computer, your social media. Who are you following? Does your feed inspire you, or does it make you feel tired and sad? Second, your social environment. Who are you spending time with? Do your conversations make you feel bigger or smaller? Do they encourage your growth, or do they hold you back? Third, your physical environment, your room, your desk. Is it a place that makes you feel calm and focused? You do not have to change everything at once. That is too much. Just pick one small thing. Your challenge is to curate one part of your environment. Just one. Change your phone's language. It takes 30 seconds. Follow one inspiring new person on social media. Unfollow one account that makes you feel bad. Send a text message to one positive friend. Clean one small corner of your room and make it your English corner. Put a notebook there, a pen, a candle. Design your world to help you win. Make it easy to be the person you want to be. Habit 4, the art of active consumption. This brings us to our fourth and final habit for today. It is a small change in your mind, but it is very, very powerful. It is powerful for learning English, and it is powerful for growing as a person. Habit number 4 is the art of active consumption. What does this mean? We live in a world of passive consumption. Passive means we just let things happen to us. We are not engaged. We scroll and scroll on our phones. We binge watch a whole TV show in one weekend. We listen to podcasts, but our mind is in another place. We are thinking about our emails or our grocery list. We are taking in so much information, hours and hours of content, but very little of it is really staying with us. Very little of it is changing us. Active consumption is the opposite. It is when you engage with content with a purpose. You have a reason. You have a job to do. It is the difference between letting information wash over you like water and consciously interacting with it, wrestling with it. In terms of learning, this is how you turn fun into study, how you turn entertainment into education. And science shows this works. We know that learning a language is good for your brain. It can improve your memory and your attention. But these benefits get a huge boost when the learning is active. I used to think that if I just had an English movie playing in the background, I was practicing English. And yes, passive listening is better than nothing. It helps you get used to the sounds of the language, but it is nothing compared to the power of active listening. The change for me was when I started to watch things with a mission. A small secret mission. For example, instead of trying to watch a whole 2-hour movie, I would decide to watch just one 10-minute scene. And my mission would be this: find 3 new idioms or phrases that I have never heard before. I would have my progress journal next to me. I would watch the scene carefully. When I heard an interesting phrase, I would press pause. I would write it down. Later, I would look it up online. I would try to understand what it meant. Then I would try to write my own sentence using that new phrase. I gave myself a task. I became a detective. I turned a passive experience watching a movie into an active hunt for knowledge. It was fun, and it was so effective. Or if I was reading an article in English, my mission was not just to read the article. That is too passive. My mission would be read this article, then close it, and write a 3-sentence summary of the main idea in my own words. This forced me to engage on a much deeper level. I couldn't just read the words. I had to understand the meaning. I had to understand it well enough to explain it simply. It was not just about input. It was about processing that input. This is something we try to do in this podcast. When we offer you a guide or ask you questions, we are trying to help you shift. Shift from being a passive listener to being an active learner. This habit is the bridge. It is the bridge between knowing something and doing something. You can read all the self-help books in the world, but if you do not actively apply the ideas, nothing will change in your life. You can listen to this podcast and feel inspired. But if you just nod your head and then forget everything we talked about, it will not have a real impact. Active consumption means you engage with ideas, you ask questions, and you decide how you're going to use them. When you read a book, use a highlighter. Mark the sentences that feel important to you. At the end of each chapter, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, what is the one big idea here? What is one small action I can take this week based on this idea? This is about becoming a creator, not just a consumer, even on a very small scale. Instead of just liking a social media post, leave a thoughtful comment. Add your idea to the conversation. Instead of just learning a new vocabulary word, actively try to use it. Use it in a conversation that same day. This practice builds a habit of action. It trains your brain to always look for ways to apply what you are learning. And that is the true foundation of all personal growth. So, your challenge for this habit is to make the switch. Switch from passive to active. The next time you consume a piece of English content, a podcast episode, a YouTube video, a news article, a song, don't just let it end when the content ends. Give yourself a small mission. Find one key idea. Decide on one small action you can take. Share what you learned with a friend. Teach it to someone else. Turn your consumption from a passive hobby into an active tool for your own growth. So, there you have it. Our 4 transformative habits, 4 simple ideas. Let's review them one more time. First, embrace imperfect action. Done is better than perfect. Just start. Second, rewire your focus. Look for your progress, not your mistakes. What you focus on grows. Third, curate your environment. Design your world to make good habits easy. And fourth, practice active consumption. Engage with what you learn. Turn knowledge into action. These are not just tips for learning English. They are a system for growth. A system you can use in any area of your life. They are the keys to unlock that stronger, happier, more confident version of yourself. The person that you know is waiting inside. But like we said, knowing is not enough. Knowledge is useless without action. It is so easy to listen to something like this, to feel inspired for a few minutes, and then to go right back to your old patterns. I don't want that for you. I want today to be a day of real change. And that change always starts with one small, imperfect action. Your action for today can be very simple. In the comments below, tell us something. Which of these 4 habits will you try to start this week? Just one. You don't have to do all of them. Just choose one that feels right for you today. Will you take an imperfect action? Will you start a progress journal? Will you change one thing in your environment? Or will you practice active consumption with your next piece of content? Tell us in the comments. I read every single comment. Our mission here is to build a community of friends who are changing their lives through English. Your comment, your story could be the little spark of inspiration that someone else needs to see today. And of course, if this conversation was helpful for you, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. It truly helps us reach more people, more learners just like you all around the world. Before we go, I want to leave you with one final thought. The journey of learning a new language is just like the journey of changing your life. It is never about arriving at a perfect place. There is no finish line. There is no day when you have perfect English. There is no day when you have a perfect life. It is not about the destination. It is all about the journey. It is about who you become along the way. It is about the person you build day by day. It is about building resilience every time you make a mistake and you decide to keep going. It is about expanding your world every time you learn a new idea. It is about proving to yourself with small actions every day that you are capable of doing hard things. The person you want to be, the confident English speaker, the successful professional, the happy and fulfilled person. That person is not someone you find. It is someone you build. And the most incredible news is you already have the tools. The tools are these small daily habits. The same courage it takes to speak to a stranger in English is the same courage it takes to ask for a promotion at work. The same discipline it takes to learn 5 new words a day is the same discipline it takes to build a business or learn a new skill. Learning English is not a separate part of your life. It is the training ground for your life. It is the gym where you make your muscles of courage and resilience and growth stronger. The journey starts now. It starts with one small, imperfect step. You can do it. I believe in you. Thank you for spending this time with me today. It was an honor to be with you. Keep going. You're doing great. See you next time, my friend.